Live from the Island Federal Arena on Long Island, ESPN3 presents America East Basketball. Tonight, Stony Brook plays host to Vermont. And let's take a look at the updated America East standings, including the games that have already been played this afternoon. This is all updated. Stony Brook on top. Vermont's only loss was at home this past Wednesday night with a loss to UMBC. Courtside, Carl Roy to Rob Pavanelli. It won't be easy for Vermont. Why? Arguably the best player in the league, Anthony Lamb, out. Second straight game, concussion protocol, which means a lot of the burden on the shoulders of Ernie Duncan.
No question about it, Carl. And Ernie Duncan, a senior, one of the all-time leading scorers in Vermont history. He has a lightning-quick release with tremendous range from downtown. Had 22 in that loss to UMBC the other night. The Catamounts are going to rely heavily on him tonight in the absence of Lamb.
On the flip side for Stony Brook, how about the senior from the Bahamas, Jerron Cornish?
The quiet leader of the Sea Wolves. He gets everybody involved on offense, but he can shoot the ball. He can get to the rack. He's playing the best basketball of his career. He hit the big game winner against Albany the other night in overtime.
Take a look at the starting lineups. And first for Stony Brook, 17-3 overall. We've already talked about Cornish, but watch the freshman number 2, Miles Latimer. Might be a freshman, but in name only. This guy has really stepped up his game in his first season. On the flip side for Vermont, we mentioned Anthony Lamb is out. And, yeah, that's you're not seeing a double, but you are seeing triple. Duncan, and Duncan. Not a law firm. All brothers, all starting tonight for the Catamounts, who are 5-1 in America East play. And there is the head coach. You see him to the extreme left side there, looking at his team. There's the face of John Becker, now in his 8th year. Catholic University graduate back in 1990. All he's done is 1 year, 181 wins and 82 losses. And on the flip side, for Stony Brook, now in his 3rd year, graduated from Ohio University in 1995. It is Jeff Bowles. There he is, red tie. He's charting some plays as well early on. 13 on the floor. The officials, Bill McCarthy, Matt Palum, King Whetstone. Stony Brook will be in the home white. And they're going up against a Vermont team in yellow or gold, trimmed in green, that has quite the record going, Rob Pavanelli, in the America East.
No question. America East record, 21 consecutive road victories in the conference. Incredible streak. Certainly in jeopardy tonight against a tremendous Stony Brook team. And as we mentioned, playing without their star, Anthony Lamb.
Coach John Becker said after the loss to UMBC the other night, 74-61, we were just outplayed on both sides of the ball. Credit UMBC. I got news for you. He'll be ready for Stony Brook, but Stony Brook's going to be ready for Vermont as we get ready to tip it up.
Biggest game of the season, Carl. This is for first place. Stony Brook on a roll, has won 7 games in a row.
And a little bit of, I guess, maybe anxiety, because you can get some separation here. If you beat Vermont tonight, you got a 2-game cushion.
And we know how important home court advantage is going to be in the playoffs. Stony Brook is fighting for it. They play in front of a packed crowd here. 4,100 people.
Ernie Duncan gave it up. This is Steph Smith finding his way through. Tipped up at the rim and knocked down there by Samuel Dingba, the redshirt senior from Cameroon who transferred in from Quinnipiac.
And that was good rotation by Jeff O'Cherry, but no one boxed his man out, and Dingba got the easy bucket.
Got to watch Dingba. His wingspan is 7'3". He'll always guard the opponent's best.
And that's what he does real well. Really attacks the offensive glass.
Off the hesitation on a step back and a launching along 2. Off the mark, Yeboah, rebound Dingba. Pushing it now to Ernie Duncan. 3 Duncans starting. Robin, Everett, and Ernie.
And they're going to spread the floor as Vermont. They're going to play 4 guards, a lot of dribble drive, a lot of drive penetration, and a lot of those 3-pointers. Good defense by Cornish.
Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Vermont, off the miss by Steph Smith, who's been up and down of late. Coach John Becker said, I've got to get him into a more consistent role right now. He's a sophomore from Ajax, Ontario. Speaking about a guy who's been in rhythm, how about this guy, Jerron Cornish? I had no idea. He's the youngest of 6 kids.
He played outstanding. As I mentioned, he was playing his best basketball. Had a big game against Albany. Hit the big game winner in overtime.
Speaking of Cornish, launching 3. Off the heel, long rebound to the hands of Ernie Duncan. And then there's some contact, and it rolls out of bounds. The officials confer, and it's last touched by Stony Brook. Almost 2 minutes in. The one basket, Samuel Dingba on a little tip-in. Here's Billy McCarthy. Veteran officials working the game tonight. Why not? 17-3 for Stony Brook, 5-0 in the America East. Vermont right behind them at 5-1. Overall, 15-5.
Yeah, tough loss to UMBC. Played without Lamb.
From the corner, launching and missing the three was Duncan. This is a team, Vermont, that is 4-0 after a loss this year. Inside, did not go for O'Cherry, and it was pulled down neatly and nicely by Dingba.
And really look for Vermont to push it on the offensive end. They like to hit the trailers for jump shots or layups. Very aggressive on the offensive end against a very stingy Stony Brook defense.
Getting the screen was Smith at the foul line, tied up with 12 to shoot, giving it up to Ernie Duncan. Holding the dribble, baseline. In tight to Dingba, rejected by O'Cherry. Try to save and stepping on the baseline. Good hustle play, even though it will not go to Stony Brook. Elijah Olaniyi, but how about O'Cherry with a block, his 52nd of the season.
A tremendous game against Maine, had 11.6 rebounds, 5 blocks, and then he had 4 blocks in the overtime win against Albany. He is the rim protector for Stony Brook. He is their key, the anchor to that defense. That allows all of the players to go out and extend on the shooters of Vermont, knowing that he's back there to block shots.
How about that Albany team who loses in overtime this past Wednesday night at home to this Stony Brook team, and then Albany gets its first win of the season, being Hartford, who was really playing well before today.
Anything can happen in this America East.
Conversation there. That's Bill McCarthy and King Whetstone. And they've changed the call here, and John Becker is going to get an explanation from Bill McCarthy. And I don't know what it could be that they will look at the replay, Pav.
They're going to the monitor now. Maybe who touched it last? I don't know. I didn't see anything there, Carl.
That's King Whetstone on the left. Bill McCarthy with the headset on to the right. Matt Palem is standing to your lower right of the screen. Early on, about 2.5 minutes in, just the lone basket, and Vermont on top in a huge America East showdown. You know, the anticipation of this game was real high. I mean, I couldn't wait to get here today because you're talking about two teams that a lot of people feel will be in the championship game. But where? Here or at Vermont?
Well, Vermont, the preseason favorite. Last year they went to the finals, got upset. They were the 1 seed, got upset by UMBC. We all know what UMBC did in the NCAA tournament, knocking off Virginia as the 16th seed. So really anything can happen. But you're talking about right now the two top teams in the America East Conference.
In speaking with John Becker yesterday, the 3-time America East Coach of the Year, including the last 2 years, he said without Anthony Lamb, he said, I want to see where this young team is going, because even with a veteran Lamb who's a junior, they still have a lot of young people. He'll play up to 10 people to try to find the right combination even with Lamb.
Absolutely. I mean, you have veteran leadership in Dingba and obviously Ernie Duncan. They've both been around, the redshirt seniors, so they really are the leaders of this team. You know, the Duncan brothers coming in, Steph Smith, sophomore. They've got experience, but without Anthony Lamb, I mean, the young man's had 47 in the game. I mean, he can really play. Preseason America East Player of the Year.
And by the way, you see the coaches are all wearing sneakers in colleges and high schools across the nation. They're wearing the sneakers with their suits during the games to raise awareness for Coaches versus Cancer and the fight against cancer. Since the inception, the campaign has raised over $115 million.
Incredible cause, Carl.
Still waiting for word, and this is a long delay in a much anticipated game. Kind of takes a little bit of the steam out, but you got to get the call right. Some people say, all right, we can get the call right, but it's taking too long.
Way too long. I mean, we see it now in professional sports so much, and it does take a little bit of the edge off, Carl. No question about it, for the teams, for the fans.
Well, there is Jeff Bowles. Had a great conversation with him this morning. He's standing next to his star player there, and Akwazi Yaboa, who's averaging almost 18 points a game. And speaking to him is, and these coaches, they're so friendly, and they're really open and honest and giving you information and stuff. And I said, Jeff, am I making a bigger deal of this game? And I asked John Becker the same. He goes, basically, No, you're not making a big deal, but it really is just the next game on the schedule. We have to sell game, game, game. Can't look ahead to what we're playing 2 weeks. You're shaking your head. You're saying no.
Coaching for, many years, Carl.
Okay.
There's always games you circle, no matter what the season is, no matter who you're playing next. There are games you circle, and you know that this game was circled by both of these coaches. Obviously, Vermont coming in a little bit, shorthanded without Lamb, but don't tell Jeff Bowles that. This is going to be a Vermont team ready to play.
Anthony Lamb, 21 points a night, 8 rebounds, shooting almost 80% from the line, 37% from the arc, 50% from the field. So they lose a lot, but there is a group of guys that will try to make up. You never have one guy try to say, you're Anthony Lamb tonight. You got to do it as a group.
As a group. We didn't get an explanation on the call, but, Lamb, I mentioned, 42 versus St. Bonaventure, 37 versus Harvard, 34 versus Yale, 5-time America East Player of the Week this season, preseason Player of the Year. You're losing a lot.
Those seconds, and they launched it with about 1. I didn't realize they only had 3 off the inbound. It was missed from the corner by Ernie Duncan. And now off the baseline, Olaniyi lost the handle but recovers. Latimer is watched by Steph Smith. Yeboah to his left, holding the dribble, going glass.
Tough move by Yeboah on Everett Duncan. Duncan, an excellent defender, but Yeboah too strong on a drive.
Leading scorer for Stony Brook at 18 points a night.
We talked a lot about Anthony Lamb. Akwazi Yeboah is certainly a candidate for Player of the Year as well in the America East.
100%. Contact, no whistle, tie up, try to get out of trouble, and now the whistle. And it'd stop play at 16:53 and 11 seconds on the shot clock. And the foul is on Stony Brook. It's on number 4. That's Jeff O'Cherry, his first. The sophomore at 6'11", out of the Bronx.
And that's a key for Stony Brook and Jeff Bowles to keep Jeff O'Cherry out of foul trouble. Certainly goes after a lot of shot blocks. He has to make sure that he stays out of foul trouble.
Backdoor cut rejected by O'Cherry. Oh, what a beautiful slide. Came from the weak side to knock it down.
And that's a tough call on O'Cherry. That's a beautiful block on a rotation. Maybe a little body contact, but this is big boy basketball. You got to let that one go. And that's O'Cherry's second. There it is right here. That looked like a lot of ball, unless they called it on Cornish.
They gave it to Cornish, his first.
Very lucky for Stony Brook.
Duncan to the line, 80%. Guess who mushed him?
And that's a referee doing a good job there, Carl. They called the foul, certainly called out on O'Cherry. You would have known that, they know that that's O'Cherry's second foul, so they gave that one to Cornish.
An 80% free throw shooter in Robin Duncan, the freshman out of Evansville, Indiana, missing both. Cornish looking for 3. Way off the mark, and the rebound was pulled by Everett Duncan, the redshirt junior, the older brother of Robin Duncan. That was Ernie Duncan, the other brother.
We'll get it right by the end of the night, Carl.
That's a Duncan that scored. That's Ernie Duncan, who had his 1,300th career point the other night against UMBC.
That was a long 2. Tremendous shooter is Duncan. He's the best shooter out of the Duncan brothers.
Playing at an all-America East level, says John Becker, his head coach. O'Cherry is doubled up top, Latimer to the corner. Baseline Cornish. They whip it around. Yeboah triple. Latimer with a tip. Miles Latimer, the freshman.
Great ball movement by Stony Brook. Yeboah doesn't get it to go. But Johnny on the spot, Miles Latimer with the tip in, the freshman.
Rebounding, a key that John Becker said. We've got to handle Stony Brook's athleticism. That was an athletic move by Latimer.
Well, they've got tremendous rebounding guards in Cornish, Latimer. There he is as Latimer goes up for rebound. Olaniyi, so difficult to defend, so quick, such a quick jumper.
That was Ryan Davis who missed. The freshman on a fall away from 10 feet on the left side.
And you talk about it all the time, Carl, in the broadcast. He certainly does not play like a freshman. Tremendous pull-up jumper by Latimer.
Robin Duncan spun, went with the left hand. It was off the mark. The battle for the rebound, and a whistle and a foul, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Stony Brook by 2, 15:06 remaining in this first half over Vermont. You're watching the action on ESPN3.
Long Island is more exciting than ever. Introducing Jake's 58, the island's only casino hotel. With 1,000 gaming machines, including video blackjack, baccarat, craps, and roulette. The contemporary Bistro 58 and 227 guest rooms. Jake's is your place to play, eat, and stay. Close to home, off exit 58 on the LIE. Jake's 58 Hotel and Casino. Discover the excitement you've been missing.
Back here at Island Federal Arena, Carl Reuter, Rob Pavanelli, the entire ESPN3 crew on a Saturday night on Long Island. Much anticipated matchup between the first place Stony Brook Seawolves and Vermont right behind at 5-1, and Stony Brook on top by the score of 6-4. Played almost 5 minutes in an interesting number. Neither team has committed a turnover.
Smooth on offense, not knocking it down from downtown. Both teams are 0 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Off the screen, a whistle away from the ball. It's against Stony Brook. By the way, Andrew Garcia is on the floor, number 23, redshirt sophomore from Harlem. And the foul was on Kwasi Yaboa, the redshirt junior from Chigwell, England, picking up his first.
Illegal screen, trying to free up Latimer.
Here's Steph Smith, sophomore, holding the dribble against Jerron Cornish, a pair of zeros. Shot clock down to 12. Ernie Duncan lights up a triple.
And you cannot give Ernie Duncan a split second to get that shot off. Such a quick release. Great patience on offense by the Catamounts.
44th three-ball of the season for Ernie Duncan, who's shooting 44% from the three-point arc.
Tremendous shooter, first in Catamount history in three-point shooting percentage and third in all-time threes.
Last whistle was on Ernie Duncan, picking up his first personal. Stony Brook will inbound with Cornish. 1 point game, Latimer backing out. The entry to Garcia, making a move and losing it. And on the baseline, the back of the jersey of Robin Duncan of Vermont calls it against the Catamounts, and the ball will be to the Stony Brook Seawolves with only 10 seconds to shoot.
Yeah, tremendous weak side defense by the Catamounts, and that's, John Becker's calling card, one of the top defensive coaches in the country.
Latimer's left open. Off the mark on a three, rebound to Ernie Duncan. Such a good defensive player. And now here's his brother, the freshman, Robin Duncan. Isaiah Maul, number 14 on the floor, freshman from Albany, New York for Vermont. Twisting and turning, going high off the window, and missing was Davis. Stolen away by Smith. Duncan for three. And the foul! Ernie Duncan, his second triple, and he'll go to the line.
And you see that so frequently, Carl. After a missed shot, the ball gets kicked out. When you attack a defense inside, outside, and Ernie Duncan stepping in with a chance to go to do a Larry Johnson.
81% from the line, Ernie Duncan. 76% free throw shooting as a team, Vermont, with a chance to extend to a 5-point lead. First trip to the line for Duncan in this game. Has 9 points. Substitution, number 21, Everett Duncan comes back in, replacing his brother, Ernie Duncan.
Could you imagine those backyard games? And they've got another brother as well who plays collegiately at Anderson University in Indiana.
Here's Garcia with a dribble drive.
Beautiful move by Andrew Garcia, and that's what he provides off the bench for Stony Brook, that spark offensively. He's not the defender that O'Cherry is, but such a tough cover.
Ben Shungu, 24, tries to force the pass, picked off by Latimer. A great bounce pass ahead of the field and did not fall for Jules Moore.
Beautiful look up ahead there by Latimer.
An extended, long bounce pass that got through.
And Moore just doesn't get it to go with the beautiful finger roll, playing tremendous defense up top on Ben Shungu.
Ryan Davis gave it up. There's 10 to shoot. Launching long range was Smith, and the rebound to Latimer. Oh, Miles Latimer!
Miles Latimer breaking some ankles.
He's got 7. We're tied at 11.
Stony Brook is tenacious on defense. They have to figure out how to guard Ernie Duncan. But other than that, they are playing unbelievable man-to-man defense.
5-0 run on a lean-in, looking to draw contact. Didn't get the whistle with Smith. Here's Jules Moore. Numbers are not there, but he's going to do the Euro step. Back tap right to the hands of Ryan Davis. Up and down we go.
What a pair of athletic freshman guards for Stony Brook and Moore and Latimer.
The key word, freshman. With the step from the left side, Steph Smith. He can blow by you with that step.
He's so explosive, so strong, can really finish around the basket, shoots the ball well. When he's playing well, these catamounts are tough to stop.
Latimer again looking to break some ankles. Here's Yeboah to his left. Jordan McKenzie, the sophomore from North Carolina for Stony Brook. Garcia was tied up, and here's Yeboah with 6 seconds, a long three. A quasi Yeboah second field goal has 5. Stony Brook by 1.
A big-time jump shot by Yeboah. Straight up, knocks it down.
Here's Shungu working on Jules Moore. Shungu is a redshirt sophomore from Burlington, Vermont. Ryan Davis left open. He's short. And a push-off on the rebound. And that's going to be Stony Brook basketball. There's a timeout on the court. What a ball game. 10:51 remaining in the first half. Stony Brook by 1 over Vermont. You're watching all the action on ESPN3.
Long Island is more exciting than ever. Introducing Jake's 58, the island's only casino hotel. With 1,000 gaming machines, including video blackjack, baccarat, craps, and roulette. The contemporary Bistro 58 and 227 guest rooms. Jake's is your place to play, eat, and stay. Close to home, off exit 58 on the LIE. Jake's 58 Hotel and Casino. Discover the excitement you've been...
Well, there's one of the officials working tonight. That is King Whetstone. And why are we showing the officials and the sneakers? Well, the basketball world lost a great guy only a few hours ago, a friend of yours and mine and many others, in John Corso, an official. He was an athletic director. He even coached at one time with Tom Pecor and Jay Wright at Hofstra. He lost his battle to cancer. So today, it's kind of a sad day, but the reason that these guys are wearing that is to try to find and raise money so people like John Corso could fight through and turn the life around. We lost an extraordinary person. You and I have both known him for a good 35 years, Pav.
Absolutely, Carl. I mean, you know, we talk about what a great person he is, what a tremendous official he was, athletic director. He was an unbelievable basketball player, too.
Oh.
Played at Holy Trinity for the great Bob McKillop, played collegiately, you know, Florida, at Fairfield, Davidson, I believe. But just a great man, you know, just a mountain of a man, too, as well.
Big strapping guy, and thoughts and prayers to the Corso family. John, we will never forget the person that you were. Back to basketball here, and it's been a good one from the outset. On the entry, it's Corey Long, number 5 on the floor for Stony Brook. Yeboah was tied up, looking to maneuver, and does so.
Such a tough matchup, Carl. You see the versatility of Yeboah. Steps out, knocks down that big three, now posts you up with the strong move in the finish.
3-point lead, biggest of the game for Stony Brook. Shungu draws a whistle on a dribble drive penetration. Ben Shungu, he's had a great year, the redshirt sophomore. He's got a big-time major league body, according to his coach, and he's another guy that's dynamic. He's got the explosive blow-by with that step.
So quick, big body. You know, Anthony Lamb's going to graduate. They're going to need some big shoes to fill, him along with Ernie Duncan graduating, and it certainly could be him.
Getting through, flipped it up with the right hand, was off the mark, tipped. The initial shot was taken by Ernie Duncan, who's got a game-high 9. On the flip side for Stony Brook, Miles Latimer, Akwazi Yeboah, each with 7. Another substitution. Elijah Olaniyi, number 3, back on the floor for Stony Brook, and he replaces Jules Moore. Akwazi Yeboah will get a blow as well right now. Jeff O'Cherry checks back in, number 4 for Stony Brook.
And that's been such a key for Jeff Bowles' team. They are so deep. They've got tremendous chemistry. They don't miss a beat when they go to the bench.
And that's why both of these teams are where they are right now, 1-2 in the America East. Stony Brook at 5-0, Vermont at 5-1. Jordan McKenzie with a great look. And they got a blocking foul there. It will be a shooting foul, and it'll be Jeff O'Cherry who's going to go to the free throw line. On the season, the big guy at 72%. He's averaging 5 points a game and 5 rebounds, but his defense, when you drive the lane, he has a block in this game, which was his 52nd of the season. He's looking for his first points of the evening. Fifteen foul for Vermont. Stony Brook has also committed 5. Bronx, New York. Transferred in from Garden City Community College, which is out in Kansas.
And what a tremendous addition he has been here for the Seawolves. We mentioned what he does on the defensive end. I don't have his plus-minus stats in front of me, Carl, but I can just tell you the difference that he makes for Stony Brook when he is in the basketball game, especially on the defensive end.
6'11", but that wingspan, oh my gosh. Stony Brook on an 11-2 run. Jeff Bernstein working the numbers to grab this 4-point lead. Big crowd on hand at Island Federal Arena, campus of Stony Brook University on the east end of Long Island. Pass was thrown behind Raw Petty, number 15, a sophomore from Indianapolis. This is a guy who is trying to figure it out. He's another athletic guy, but didn't play a whole lot as a freshman, but he's going to get some minutes in this season.
That was a great look by Duncan, too. Petty just not ready for that quick fast.
Another whistle-stopping play with 9:12 on the clock in a 4-point game.
You come off that high pick-and-roll screen, Carl. You're the man setting the screen. You got to have your hands ready. You know that pass is coming. You got to double Duncan when he comes off that screen because he can shoot. He can take it to the basket. Petty's got to be ready with his hands up in the finish.
Isaiah Maul picked up his first. 3 ball off the mark by Garcia. Chased down, and then we've got contact. Corey Long was hit from behind, and they're going to whistle that foul on number 21, Everett Duncan, the redshirt junior who earlier this year missed the game, suffered a concussion in the game against St. Bonaventure. He was starting, and now he's back in the starting lineup because of Anthony Lamb being out. That's a 7th team foul on Vermont, so we'll shoot 1-1. And Corey Long buries his first point. Corey Long now 2 of 4 from the charity stripe this season. A sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Another long, athletic guard from Jeff Bowles' crew.
Garcia got his hand on it and then couldn't catch up to it. There's a hush now, but you just get the feeling it's ready to boom, explode.
Got a well-played game so far, Carl. Both teams excellent on defensive end, aggressive, contesting.
Largest lead right now for Stony Brook, 5. Robin Duncan. Turning the corner there was Isaiah Maul on a step back long 2. And O'Cherry with the long arms pulls it down.
Great defense by Andrew Garcia, forcing a tough shot by Maul.
Olaniyi quickly to McKenzie. A little shake and bake, and it drops on a 3 for Corey Long. First field goal, has 4.
And Long doesn't get a whole lot of playing time, Carl, and he has come in right now and done the job for Jeff Bowles. Another weapon off the bench for the Seawolves.
Only getting about 6 minutes a night. This is a 15-3 run right now by Stony Brook to open it up to an 8-point lead, 21-13. Ryan Davis, 35. Steph Smith, 0, checking in. Checking out for Vermont is Raw Petty and Isaiah Maul.
Stony Brook doing this with Yeboah, Latimer, and Moore on the bench.
Ryan Davis is a stretch 5. We've seen him launch from deep. Speaking of deep, Everett Duncan, who had 16 and 10 in the last game against UMBC, rattles home his first 3.
And the Catamounts really needed that basket. Great range by Everett Duncan.
Here's Garcia to McKenzie. Again, a whistle away from the ball. Or is that a 3-second violation? It is. 3 seconds whistled against Stony Brook. So the turnover gives the ball back to Vermont. Let's see what the Catamounts do following the timeout with 7:48 remaining in this first half. You're watching all the action on ESPN3.
Experience in Charlotte was amazing. It really was beyond the expectations of the world. It was dazzling. So much so that we all said the next morning, did that really happen? So it was a fun experience, a great pride for our students, combination of academics and athletics, and quite frankly, I think the best of the American East, the whole brand is about the combination of athletics and academics.
Right now, someone at Stony Brook is creating an idea that can change your life. Make you healthier. Bring you home from the hospital sooner. Because this is where ideas thrive. It isn't just medicine. This is Stony Brook medicine.
Okay, now spell competition.
Competition. Competition.
21-16 in favor of Stony Brook over Vermont. 7:48 remaining in this first half. Both teams starting to heat up a little bit from the arc.
Yeah, both teams are 3 for 8 from downtown. It's a good ball movement here by Stony Brook. And we mentioned the beautiful 3 by Moore. Rattles in and out, but goes down. And then on the other end, look at the range here on Everett Duncan. 4 or 5 feet beyond the arc.
So it's 21-16 in favor of Stony Brook. Elsewhere, America East action today. Binghamton 78-66 over Maine, a final. UMBC 8 better than New Hampshire, 59-51. And as we told you earlier, Albany 84-77 over Hartford. On the women's side, Stony Brook women with a much-needed win go up to Vermont, win at 67-61. UMBC 2 points better than New Hampshire, 64-62. Hartford all over Albany, 82-35.
And that Hartford women's freight train continues to roll.
Boy, Kim McNeil has those Hartford Hawks. They play defense when they're sleeping. Ryan Davis missing again. Good box out there by McKenzie.
Tremendous box out. Great position inside. The rebound by the sophomore.
Yeboah back on the floor. And here's McKenzie. 6'1", 189 sophomore, Concord, North Carolina. That's a spot that Yeboah likes. He likes to set up on the left baseline.
I was about to say it. He was back in his office.
There's a miss pulled down by Ernie Duncan. Steph Smith saw the open, then drops it off to Ryan Davis. Left hand off the window, first two.
What a spectacular pass by Smith. Off the pump fake, drew the defense, a little dish around for the easy bucket.
Ryan Davis missed the first couple of months, practice, plantar fasciitis, and then he's back now in his 11th game. But the first 8 or 9 games, John Becker said he was just gutting it out and really giving everything he could. They're waiting for him to round out into shape, and there's a steal by Duncan.
And this is what Vermont does well. In transition, they find trailers. They're tremendously unselfish.
That
what
was,
a block
looked
by
like
O'Cherry.
a goaltend, and the whole bench went up, and they're scoring the goal. Bill McCarthy came flying in, and I believe that will be credited to Robin Duncan. Let's see if they put it on the board for Robin Duncan.
That was a little late.
It is
on that
Robin
ball.
Duncan. That's his first 2 points. 7-0 run for Vermont.
And here we are. The shot doesn't go. Cherry, the steal by that looked pretty good.
I don't know. I thought it was a goaltend.
Well, they would have gotten the bucket anyway.
Latimer with a catch and shoot. Boy, he's got a quick release. And again, a good box out on the weak side by Robin Duncan. 1 point game. 7 straight for Vermont. Lost it off his hip. Numbers are there. Yeboah is ahead of the field. A little bit too far. Try to back tap it. And then pulled down by Everett Duncan.
Stony Brook needs a better decision on a transition break there. Good hands by McKenzie. Oh, great hustle by Jordan McKenzie. Laying it out.
Anybody that gives up the body like that, you have to love. Get those floor burns.
That's what McKenzie does. He brings so much toughness off the bench for Stony Brook.
Well, we've got a whistle and a timeout. The 32nd timeout has been called with a 21-20 lead for Stony Brook. With 5:49 left, if you're just tuning in, these are the first two top teams. I'll get it right. Stony Brook's in first. Let me say that at 5-0, and Vermont's in second at 5-1. The one loss was the other night at home, 74-61 to UMBC, and UMBC likes going up there.
Yeah, they do.
They beat Vermont last year for the championship with the right to go to the dance, and then they continued the dance by becoming the first 16 seed UMBC. To beat a 1 seed in the Virginia Cavaliers, who were all over Notre Dame today in South Bend.
Absolutely. I mean, it was an incredible upset, and their run continued for UMBC. They won 65-62. And how about Vermont? Vermont was the 1 seed at 15-1. The previous year, they won the championship at 16-0, the only time ever a team went undefeated in America East play in the regular season.
Robin Duncan missed. Dingba got his hands on it, and then there's a whistle. Now, O'Cherry's looking. If it's on him, that would be 2. Let's see. What do they call it on Miles Latimer? No, it's on O'Cherry. That is his second. And Dingba to the line. 2 shots.
Talking about the run that Vermont has had. They've won 2 America East titles. They've been to 5 America East finals, 7 NCAA bids, and 7 consecutive 20-win seasons for John Becker.
56% free throw shooter. He makes his first from the line. He's got 3. Here's the records of John Becker since he took over. 24-12, 21-12, 22-11, 20-14, 23-14, 29-6, 27-18, and 8 last year, and now 15-5.
That's not bad.
No, that's
He's
not
gonna have
bad.
another 20-win season this year, that's for sure.
4 points now on 2 of 2 from the line for Dingba. 9-0 run gives Vermont a 1-point lead.
2 of their losses this year were to Louisville and to Kansas.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And then look at that Kansas score. It was not a bad loss.
No, they were up much of the first half.
Eight to shoot. Yeboah off the mark. Garcia might have gotten hit, no whistle. And now Vermont goes into the half-court set.
That's a good look for Yeboah. That's the one that usually goes down for him. Tremendous offensive set there by the Seawolves.
And the foul off the window. Contact. Ernie Duncan's got 11.
Such a crafty basketball player. Experienced, a redshirt senior. Using the bounce to get in the lane. Nice little head and shoulder fake. Drew the contact and was able to finish off the glass to go to a chance on the line. A chance for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Having quite a night here in this first half. Substitution number 14, Isaiah Maul for Vermont. And number 1, Jules Moore. Sitting it down is Everett Duncan for Vermont. Elijah Olaniyi, who has not scored yet, number 3 for Stony Brook. Three-point play. He's got 12. And on the season, Ernie Duncan is right behind Anthony Lamb, who again, sitting out a second straight game, concussion protocol. Lamb averages almost 21 a night. Yeboah tried to climb over the top, and it's going to be a rebounding foul on Akwazi Yeboah, the redshirt junior, picking up his second.
That's a tough call on Yeboah. Looked like he had some daylight in between he and the Vermont defender.
A 12-0 run right now, Rob Pavanelli, to take a 4-point lead. It was 21-13, and I like the guys right behind us. It's like sitting in the bleachers at Wrigley Field.
Let them play.
Just let them play.
He's got a point.
Shooting 1-and-1 right here.
Saddled with some foul trouble right now. Yeboah's got 2. O'Cherry's got 2. Olaniyi's got 2.
Missing the front end of that 1-and-1. Stony Brook has not scored in the last 4 minutes and now trailed by 4, inside 5 remaining in the first half. Number 21, the big guy, Alex Christie, the freshman out of Ontario, on the floor for Stony Brook. Oh, tough drive there by Andrew Garcia. Second field goal, he's got 4.
Beautiful use of the body by Garcia, and a little sweet finger roll with the right hand off the glass.
Backing it out is Robin Duncan, being watched there by Jules Moore. Ernie Duncan with a blow-by.
And no rotation defensively there by Stony Brook. Beautiful move by Duncan, cleared out the side, and Stony Brook late to rotate.
Duncan came in averaging 14. He's got 14 right now.
He's averaging 14 when Lamb is in the lineup. Without Lamb, he really has to take a lot of the scoring burden on, and has certainly done so the other night and tonight. And Jeff Bowles is hot. Jeff Bowles is hot. There should have been a foul called on that play. Referee's calling a lot of calls. You got to make that call as well.
Timeout on the floor. We'll be back with more on ESPN3 right after this.
Do you pay too much for your electric bill? Are you tired of your electric rate rising each month? Would you like to save money by going solar without putting solar panels on your roof? Harvest Power has a solution, and we would like to help. Harvest Power has saved Long Island residents thousands of dollars, and we would like to assist you in saving too. From homeowners to renters to condo residents, Harvest Power has a solar program for you. Give us a call at 631-647-3402 or visit harvestpower.net to schedule a complimentary home solar assessment. Start saving today with Harvest Power, a proud sponsor of Stony Brook Athletics.
Island Federal delivers what Long Islanders want in their banking. Simply free checking, mobile banking with free credit monitoring, the best rates on mortgages and certificates, car loans with the same low rates on new and used vehicles. Over 1,000 surcharge-free ATMs on Long Island. Island Federal. We are Seawolves too. Visit an Island branch or go to islandfcu.com. Island Federal. Catch the wave to better banking.
Entertaining game, absolutely. Vermont by 4, 3:54 remaining in this first half.
Yeah, beautiful move here by Garcia. Stony Brook in foul trouble. They need him to explore and keep getting buckets, as this young man has. Duncan with a game-high 14 so far.
On 5 of 8 shooting and 3 rebounds as well for Ernie Duncan. On the flip side, Akwazi Yeboah with 2 fouls has 7. Miles Latimer also has 7 points for the Seawolves.
It's an important stretch right now, Carl, for the Seawolves. As I mentioned, Yeboah on the bench with foul trouble. O'Cherry on the bench with foul trouble. And Olani on the bench with foul trouble. They need to hold the fort down here for the last 3:45 left to go in the half.
Latimer, Ernie Duncan slipped away. Here's Everett Duncan. Gives it back to Ernie. Back to Everett. They skip it to Robin. So the Duncan brothers all get touches on that possession. Fresh 30. Oh, maneuvering beautifully inside. And Everett Duncan now with 2 field goals for 5 points.
And a nice look from his brother Robin.
Largest lead right now of the game, 6 for Vermont. Catch, shoot, block from behind. Jules Moore never ever saw Ernie Duncan and then commits the blocking foul at midcourt. So perhaps some frustration on that play after having his shot blocked.
No question about it there. Beautiful block, though, by Duncan. Came from behind, Ernie, that is. Came from behind to knock that shot away by Moore. What a heads-up defensive play, and he'll go to the line with a chance to extend this 6-point lead.
We're going to shoot 2 here. Duncan is already 2 of 2 from the line. Game high 14 points. I'll just continue to give free throw shooting stats for the remainder of the season, whether it's the men's game, the women's game. Someone's got to knock them down.
Got to do it, Carl.
Pav, just answer the question. Am I doing my job?
You're doing your job.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you are mush. Usually they, when you give a good stat out, they miss. But that time, Ernie knocks it down. And we've got a 7-point lead.
Here's Jordan McKenzie. Miles Latimer. Twisting and turning off the left baseline. Just didn't fall. Fight for the rebound. It's a tie-up, alternate possession in favor of Stony Brook. This is a Vermont team up by 7. Mentioned it a couple of times. Tell you again, concussion protocol for arguably the best player in the league, Anthony Lamb, missing his 2nd straight. Did not play at home this past Wednesday night and lost to UMBC. Did not make the trip here to Stony Brook. We wish him a speedy recovery because whether you like Vermont or you don't, you like the play of Anthony Lamb. You always want to see the other team's best player on the floor.
Absolutely. What an entertaining player. Tremendous talent. Worth the price of admission.
7-point lead, approaching 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Steph Smith given room, but opted to pass. The Duncans setting a screen for one another. Everett for Ernie. 5 to shoot, they isolate. Here's Ernie Duncan with an NBA 3 off the mark. Chased down. Here's McKenzie working on Ernie Duncan on a step-through pull-up.
And a beautiful move by McKenzie up the ladder. A little floater and a big bucket for the Seawolves.
Jordan McKenzie doesn't shoot all that much. He's a great ball handler, a great defender. If he sees that shot, he'll take it. And that one he saw he had an opportunity for.
One-on-one against Duncan. Pulled up. Really smooth move by McKenzie.
Catch and shoot. Ryan Davis saw it tough. He's got the long 3. He's got 5. The freshman from Schaumburg, Illinois.
And that one makes Davis so difficult to guard. The big body, he can post you up, and he's got such a great touch from downtown.
He's a stretch 5, and he just stretched that defense with a 3 that gives Vermont its largest lead. Great defense on the baseline there by Vermont. It's a turnover. .105, Pav, remaining in this first half. It's an 8-point lead.
Stony Brook has to stem the tide here. Stay in single digits down by the half. They don't want to get too behind too much, although they certainly can come back. They were down 18 to Maine the other day and made the comeback.
Well, there's Steph Smith dropping an elbow jumper. He's got 4, and now it's a 10-point lead. And a timeout called by Stony Brook with 38.4 remaining in this first half. Stuck 10, 35-25. Largest lead for Vermont on the road. And again, this is a Vermont team that plays well after a loss. 4-0 this year after a loss.
They play well after a loss, and as we know, they play well on the road. 21 consecutive road victories in conference for the Catamounts.
And 42 out of 44.
It's incredible.
In conference play.
It's incredible.
Students
what a run
are
that
back.
they have had. Great crowd here at Stony Brook. Let's see if they can lead them on. I mean, they got to stem the tide, as I've mentioned. 3 starters on the bench right now in foul trouble. They're really struggling to score right now. The only real pure score you have on a court really is Latimer. You're going to get some points out of Garcia, but they need to find the bucket right now due to Seawolves.
Latimer, again with Yeboah, 7 points apiece for Stony Brook. Here's Jordan McKenzie being watched by Robin Duncan. Here's Corey Long. He's got a 3-pointer in this first half. McKenzie on a step back there to Garcia. To his left, found room. Maneuvering, and then kicks it back out with 10 on the clock. McKenzie again. That one was ill-advised, off the mark, and now Vermont will hold for one last shot with 15 seconds.
Stony Brook really out of sync offensively.
Five to shoot. Oh, a bullet pass, and it eludes Everett Duncan off the hands of his brother Ernie Duncan. So with 3.1, a chance for a couple of dribbles and maybe get a look from midcourt.
No question.
I think that's after the buzzer. That would not have counted. So Vermont with a 10-point lead at the break. 35-25, end the half, Vermont on a 22-4 run. We're at the break. Halftime activities will unfold right after this timeout. You're watching all the action on ESPN3. Where they going? It is halftime here on ESPN3. Vermont leading Stony Brook by the score of 35-25. My halftime guest, and we are so fortunate to have Brooklyn Nets star D'Angelo Russell in the house, and everyone's going to go, why is D'Angelo here? Well, I didn't even realize it. You were recruited by Jeff Bowles for the year that you were at Ohio State. What type of a guy was Jeff when he was recruiting you?
Man, he's a great dude, positive, high-energy guy. You can see when he's coaching right now, he's really intense, and he expects that from his players.
D'Angelo, what sold you? What did he sell you on to go to Ohio State, play with him, and Thad Matter as the head coach at that time?
Man, he has an eye for talent. He has a really good eye for talent. I would say he spotted me and kept in touch from that day on, and our relationship grew, and it kept continuing to grow. So that loyalty and the first person to kind of give me that opportunity, I enjoyed that. So I just showed my support back.
Your bio, you grew up in Kentucky, you ended up at Monteverdi Academy in Florida, so you're kind of from the South, but you ended up going to the Midwest, so the warm weather to the cold weather.
Yeah.
You must have liked playing for the Buckeyes and those big people out there.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time at Ohio State University. We had a great coaching staff, great guys on my team as well, so I enjoy college.
At the Ohio State University, you were first team All Big Ten, consensus All-America. Talk about the 1 year that you were there before you decided, you know what, the NBA is my next stop.
Man, honestly, I had no idea that I was going to be a pro or be there for 1 year, so the opportunity kind of presented itself with my success on the court and off of the court. And, Bowles was one of the first guys to tell me I had to leave. There was no coming back. And reality kind of set in, and I was like, man, I got to go.
So it fit into the schedule because you beat the Knicks last night. You guys are playing really well. So Jeff Bowles recruits you. Now you play for the Brooklyn Nets, who are coached by Kenny Atkinson. Now, did you have any idea that your coach was one of the greatest players that Long Island high school basketball ever had?
No.
Oh, you didn't know that, did you?
No.
Kenny Atkinson was quite a high schooler here. Played at St. Anthony's and then had a great career in college. So when you go back and you see Coach, you practicing tomorrow?
Yeah.
You tell him Carl says hello because I did his games when he was playing high school ball here.
Wow. You said St. Anthony's. Okay. Yeah.
So when you look at Jeff Bowles now and you see where he is and what he's done with this program, the athleticism here, you played at a high level, you played at the Big Ten, Power 5 conference. Here you are at a mid-major game. There's some great talent out here.
Yeah, for sure. It's a high-energy game. This is the level where, you got to go out and compete. You got to compete every night, every possession. And you see it now. These guys are playing their tails off, and Coach expects that. So playing under Coach, there's no way you're going to get away with anything less than playing hard.
What was the biggest adjustment you had to make leaving after the 1 year, Big Ten basketball, Ohio State, and All-American, and then into the NBA? What was the big adjustment?
The speed of the game. Honestly, you see the shot clocks at 30 in college, but the speed of the game at the college level, at the NBA level is 24. On a rebound, missed shot, it goes back to 14, so you're constantly playing at a faster pace than normal. When you come into the league, you're used to playing at 30-second shot clock, so the game's a little slower, but it forces you to play faster. Yeah.
Well, I'll just let you know that his numbers are almost identical because 19.6 rebounds, 5 assists in Ohio State. Right now this year, 19 points, 6.5 assists, and 4 rebounds. So your numbers very comparable from the 1 year at Ohio State to this year with the Brooklyn Nets. D'Angelo Russell, thank you so much for coming by. Tell Coach Atkinson I said hello because I miss him out here on the island. Continued success with the Brooklyn Nets.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, that's D'Angelo Russell. He's been my halftime guest. We're at the break. It's 35-25, Vermont over Stony Brook. Back with more on ESPN3 right after this timeout. Stay with us. Vermont without Anthony Lamb, second game, concussion protocol, with a 10-point lead over Stony Brook at the break, 35-25. And tonight's first half stat of the game has to be the shooting of Ernie Duncan, who is stepping up and helping out with Anthony Lamb on the bench. Duncan is 5 of 10 from the field, including 2 triples. He's got a game-high 15 points in his 17 minutes. So tonight's first half stat of the game, the field goal shooting of Ernie Duncan. The stat of the game is brought to you by Jake's 58 Hotel and Casino. Jake's 58, where Long Island wins. Back with more right after this timeout on ESPN3. Vermont with a 10-point lead, 35-25. Carl Reuter with Rob Pavanelli. Why did they have a 10-point lead? Boy, they closed hard.
Vermont was just lighting it up from downtown. The long 3+1 for Ernie Duncan. And here his brother does him one better from even deeper. Everett Duncan with a long three. And Steph Smith getting in the lane right here. Beautiful look inside. The wraparound to Ryan Davis, who played some good minutes for the Catamounts. For the Seawolves here, the little break into the ankles and a step back three from Miles Latimer doing his James Harden impression. Akwazi Aboa knocking down a long three with a hand in his face. And a beautiful move here in transition by Jordan McKenzie up the ladder, Super John Williamson style for the little old timers there.
Wow, Super John Williamson, the old days with the ABA Nets. As you take a look at the halftime numbers, now you see those, but let's verbal the others because the big numbers, points off of turnovers, Vermont 11-1. Second chance points, Vermont 10-3. Those are really outstanding in red.
Really, really big numbers. And those are the numbers that the Seawolves usually dominate. Vermont's doing a tremendous job taking care of the basketball. Only 4 turnovers in the first half for the Catamounts.
So let's see what happens here with a 10-point lead as we get set for the second half. And Vermont will inbound. And we'll have the first opportunity, the Catamounts, to trail Stony Brook in the America East standings in second place at 5-1. Stony Brook is 5-0. And again, Vermont not playing with Anthony Lamb tonight, who concussion protocol. He's out for his second straight game. Steph Smith driving left baseline, third field goal. He's got 6 points.
And very uncharacteristic of this Jeff Bowles team. They're giving up some easy looks, easy drives to the basket with no rotation defensively. And O'Cherry's going to pick up his third personal right there with the illegal screen.
He was out high setting it and got whistled. And let's see if he's going to sit down quickly or not. That's his third personal. 36 seconds in, and Jeff Ball says staying out there. I like it.
And Vermont coming off that loss from UMBC, it takes a little while for a coaching staff and a team to get used to playing without your star player, Anthony Lamb. You know, they've got some more time to practice. They certainly look much more settled offensively today against Stony Brook than they did against UMBC. 17
points now for Ernie Duncan, and the lead has extended to its largest for Vermont at 14. Cornish rimmed out on a 3 rebound. They'll stay on the Stony Brook end of the floor. Going back to the first half, Vermont incredibly is on a 26-4 run.
That is unbelievable, Carl, against a Stony Brook team that can score and can defend. Vermont playing very, very well on both ends of the floor.
I'm talking about a Stony Brook team that scores 73 points a game. That one is short. Boy, the lid is on the rim right now, and you got to hold it here. You stuck 14 at home. You need a stop and an explosive play to get this big crowd back into it. .15 on the shot clock. Robin Duncan. Here's the outlet to Everett. Steph Smith lining it up and drilling a triple. He's got 9. Timeout, Stony Brook.
Good timeout right now for Stony Brook.
Timeout on the floor. 17-point lead for Vermont. 18-26 remaining in the second half. You're watching the action on ESPN3.
Respect is hard work. Respect is dedication.
Respect is earned on the court or on the field.
Respect doesn't judge based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Respect is being the first conference to partner with the You Can Play Project.
And the first conference in the LGBT Sports Safe Founders Club.
Respect the coaches, the players, and the game.
Respect similarities.
Respect differences.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
We are the curious, the explorers, the innovators. Defiant in the face of the status quo. Unbound by tradition, unlimited in our potential, relentless in the pursuit of tomorrow's big ideas. We are Stony Brook University. We go far beyond.
Food for thought.
It's more than a common phrase.
It's the intellectual nourishment that surrounds us at the University of Vermont.
Those ideas.
That atmosphere, those classes that get us up in the morning
and keep us up at night. Food for Thought connects us to other hungry thinkers who will change your world. Like this one.
Or even this one.
All the food for thought in the world is on the menu at the University of Vermont.
Let's dig in.
Back here at Stony Brook, and this crowd is at a hush right now. It's a 10-point lead at the break, 35-25, but 7 straight points here, due in part to this guy who's picking up the slack with Anthony Lamb out with the concussion protocol. 17 points now, came in averaging 14, and Ernie Duncan's just lighting it up.
He is lighting it up. He's impossible to guard. He shoots it from deep, can get to the basket. Great ball movement by Vermont. A huge bucket by Steph Smith as the shot clock was winding down on the last possession for the Catamounts. They are firing on all cylinders, and Stony Brook just can't get a bucket to go.
Let's see what they can do right here. Plenty of time left. You can't get 17 back in one fell swoop, so you got to chip away here. Get a hoop and a stop. Yeboah wants 3. Yeboah's got 3.
And you got to go to your big-time scorer, your prime-time player. Yeboah answers, cuts the lead to 14, but they have to get stops.
His second three-pointer of the evening, and Yeboah now leading the way for Stony Brook with 10 off the cut. Ernie gave to Everett, and it's back in the hands of Ernie Duncan to Robin Duncan, the other brother, the youngest of the 3. Duncan, and Duncan. That was Everett Duncan. His second triple. He's got 8 on 3 field goals. You know, kid it at the top. Latimer missing. And then there's a foul by Cornish hitting Steph Smith. Maybe after they graduate, maybe it will be the law firm of Duncan, and Duncan.
If they're not playing overseas somewhere.
There's Steph Smith, sophomore from Ajax, Ontario. I love looking down the hometowns of the kids when you get ready for a game and you're going down the rosters.
Yeah. Andrew Garcia looking to check in here for Stony Brook. They need some offense, and Garcia can provide it. And a blocking foul against Vermont will turn the ball over back to the Seawolves.
That was on Samuel Dingba, the redshirt senior out of Cameroon. And he picks up his first personal. And as you mentioned, Andrew Garcia on the floor. For Stony Brook, Jeff Voceri takes a seat. Latimer gives it up to Olaniyi, launching 3. Rimmed out. Oh, look at Yeboah with a strong rebound, and then an elbow. Oh, whoa. Laying down, and he took an elbow. Inadvertent was Everett Duncan. Jeff Bowles all over King Whetstone, the official. Let's see what happens here.
That's a tough call against Yeboah. Grabbed the rebound, just turned, as you mentioned, inadvertently hit Duncan in the nose. But the foul will still be on Yeboah.
All right, they're going to go to the replay. This time it's going to be Bill McCarthy and Matt Palem. Matt Palem is on the right. Bill McCarthy's on the left.
I think they have to look at it as a flagrant, which certainly wasn't. It just accidental on a rebound, just turned to look to score.
Well, I think it'll clearly show that it was inadvertent and that it will just be whistled on the floor. But again, we've got a review like we had in the first 2 minutes of this contest.
And that was also for a flagrant foul, which did not occur.
So they'll check it out again, and it's not so bad almost 3 minutes in here. And Vermont's in control where you could really start to talk to your team and say, hey, guys, let's settle in here.
Absolutely.
Clock has a lot of time, but we are in the second half. And now they're going to have King Whetstone go over with Bill McCarthy now to see what could be happening. John Becker walking out onto the floor, the head coach of Vermont, speaking with Matt Palem. And now they're going to talk again, and they're going to confer. Now, how do we get them over here? Let's take a look, Pav.
And you see the shot over here by Alani from the corner. Rattles in and out. And Yeboah with a great rebound. He just turns and accidentally hits him with the elbow. I mean, there's no flagrant foul there.
Well, they're still discussing this. And again, you want to get it right. He just spun around. It was nothing intentional at all.
Grabbed the rebound, turned to look to score, and then kicked it back out. I mean, I think it's even a tough foul call. I know he hit him a little bit, but referees thought differently.
Well, let's see. I'm going to get an explanation here from King Whetstone. All right, so the call is it's just a foul, no intentional, but the foul is going to be on a quasi Yeboah, and it's going to be Vermont ball, because that would be the second team foul against Stony Brook. 2 team fouls whistled against Vermont, and he looks okay, Everett Duncan. That's what you want. That's what I was waiting to see. That's a great job.
Class act.
Yep.
Your quasi Yeboah goes over, gives Duncan a little pound, and that's his third.
Now.
And that's a third personal on Yeboah.
And O'Cherry's got 3.
And again, Stony Brook saddled early on in the second half with foul trouble. Your leading scorer and your top defensive player both have 3. Yeboah will stay in the game. O'Cherry will sit.
On a little reach in there, trying for the steal was Latimer. Off the mark, white shirts chasing Latimer, and who touched it last? Yeboah saves. Great job by Stony Brook. And then the trap. Oh, they got a blocking foul. I actually thought Olani had gone up and down.
No, that was a nice little hop step. And then at the last second, Duncan shifted to take the charge. Good call by the officials, but tremendous hustle by the Seawolves. First by Latimer, then by Yeboah to save the ball.
And Yeboah playing with the 3 personals, and he makes that save.
Here it is. Great hustle here. Look at Yeboah saving it and then coming up with it with his Latimer.
Bring it back to the live action. The shot was off the mark, and the rebound taken down by Steph Smith.
Stony Brook still unable to score.
Only have 3 points. Had 25 at the break, down 35-25. We've worked too long together. You were telling me as I was saying it that they only have the 3. Oh, a rainbow jumper. Ernie Duncan now with 19 on a volley floater.
And Duncan showing the whole arsenal. The ability to shoot the ball. He had the little step-back mid-range game, and he's been going to the basket as well. What a performance by the redshirt senior, Ernie Duncan.
Tough dribble drive, a little bit too strong. Rebound hauled, and here comes Vermont with the ball and its largest lead right now of 19 points on the road against the undefeated Seawolves in America East play.
And nothing is getting going for the Seawolves. Nothing goes down, everything rolls around, and Vermont looks so tough to guard right now offensively.
Way off the mark, shot missed by Everett Duncan. But a whistle stopping play, and it's going to be against Stony Brook, who's going to get called for its 4th team foul with 15:32 remaining in this second half. Timeout on the floor. It is all Vermont over Stony Brook on ESPN3.
Intensity and drive, but also the camaraderie that I saw in that team and the way they stick with each other was incredible.
#1 in the nation and is pursuing the national championship.
Because of their ability to elevate the school as a whole, I wanted to reach out and honor them. And the crowd really erupted in applause when we talked about them, because what they've done, and again, not just this year, but 3 years previously for the seniors as well, has been extraordinary for the university.
It needs a little more flair.
Woo, my brother. The Ninja Boy is in the house. Oh, yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
Nope, I think we're good. TickPick, the only ticket resale marketplace with no hidden fees. Think StubHub with less fees. Find them online or in the App Store. TickPick, every ticket, no hidden fees.
Woo!
On the road without Anthony Lamb, second straight game sitting out, concussion protocol, and Vermont on top of Stony Brook 47-28. It was 35-25. Vermont at the break have outscored Stony Brook here early in the second half, 12-3, 11 of 34 shooting right now for the Seawolves. And a big telling tale is that guy right there got to take a seat on the bench. Akwazi Yeboah has 4 fouls. Jeff O'Cherry has 3 fouls. Jerron Cornish has 3 fouls. This is going to be tough coming back.
No question about it, and 2 really tough calls against Akwazi Yeboah. The elbow on the offensive rebound, and down on this end, a boxing out foul on his 4th foul. So really calling it tight. Some bad luck here for Akwazi Yeboah.
Found some room, dished it out, wide open, Steph Smith. Run down off the hands of Miles Latimer, so another 30 seconds for Vermont.
And Vermont does such a great job with their spacing on the offensive end. The dribble drive, the kick out to Duncan, the great extra pass to Smith up top. Doesn't get it to go, but it will remain Vermont ball. And Vermont is getting all the 50-50 balls, all the long rebounds in this game, Carl.
Went up, contact, nothing called. Everett Duncan, and this one goes against Vermont. So the sarcastic cheers from the home crowd. That foul is whistled on Samuel Dingba, his second for the redshirt senior. Transferred in from Quinnipiac, a native of Cameroon. Andrew Garcia lights up a 3.
Still plenty of time, Carl. 15 minutes left to go here in the second half.
Robin Duncan pushed to the corner by Jules Moore. That's one place you don't want to get trapped. Ten to shoot. They look to double. Ernie Duncan holding the dribble with 5. Kick it to Smith. Baseline, maneuvered in, did not go. Put back, Samuel Dingba. He's got 6.
And another second chance opportunity by Vermont. Dingba puts it. No time left on the clock. He gets it to go. Big bucket for the Catamounts.
Garcia, a little bit too long, and the rebound to the hands of Everett Duncan. Dingba's got 9 rebounds in this game.
And Stony Brook rushing a little bit here offensively.
Backdoor cut! Rejected, and then the whistle and the foul. Everett Duncan will go to the line for 2 shots.
I mean, I know it's obvious, Carl, but the telepathy that the Duncan brothers have, they know where they are on the court at all times. They're a beautiful little bounce pass, backdoor pass from Robin Duncan to Everett Duncan, and he goes to the line and knocks down the first to make it a 19-point Catamount lead.
He's got 9 points. He's now 29 of 32 from the free throw line, 90%. You know what that means?
He's going to miss this one?
No, he's got 10.
When you're at 90%, I don't think you miss many, even with your voodoo.
I think one of the greatest free throw shooters I ever saw in the history of college basketball. Former schoolmate at St. John's, Frankie Alasia. Garcia again, been finding openings from that three-point line, but now only one of his last 3 from the arc. We have a whistle-stopping play with 13:34 remaining.
And Garcia getting some good looks, just can't get him to go.
Ryan Davis steps back on the floor for Vermont, and Samuel Dingba leaves with the 9 points, the 9 rebounds and the 6 points. He's given him some outstanding minutes tonight.
Absolutely, a different kind of threat now with Davis. Vermont 5 shooters on the floor.
Garcia this time catches in tight, draws contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. His first trip to the line in this game. So the redshirt sophomore from Harlem, who's got 7 points so far, came in averaging 9.5, 69% from the charity stripe, will get 2 shots. Got to make them. Clock doesn't move. You can pick up 2 quick ones here.
I keep saying there's plenty of time, but Stony Brook running out of time a little bit.
I think they've got to be within like a dozen by the 10-minute mark.
You like the number in single digits. I mean, you'd love to get it into single digits, but they got to chip away. Like you mentioned, you can't get 17 at once. Now they're going to extend the pressure here a little bit, smaller lineup. Let's see if they can turn Vermont over.
Semi-pressure in the backcourt, but Vermont does get it over the timeline. There's a hold out top. Jordan McKenzie gets whistled for his first personal.
Both teams now have 6 fouls.
We're going to be shooting.
Both teams will be in the bonus for the rest of the night. A long night at the line.
Inbound from side court by Ernie Duncan. Coming down towards 13 minutes left on the clock here in the second half. Here's Everett Duncan. Oh, a steal. Garcia ahead of the field.
Timeout, Vermont. Big bucket by Garcia. 16-point lead. Beautiful transition bucket. The steal, the hammer. And the crowd is into it. Let's see if this gets Stony Brook going.
So John Becker calls time. Animation coming from Jeff Bowles, trying to get his guys going. Let's see if they can take off because Garcia makes the 2 free throws. Garcia with the steal and the slam dunk. 4 straight points, get it to 16 with basically 13 on the clock.
Absolutely, and we mentioned, came back, Stony Brook did, down 18 against Maine the other night, so you know they have it in them. They certainly can get it going offensively, but it has to start on the defensive end. They need to continue to get stops, some steals, not allow Vermont to get second chance opportunities, which has hurt the Seawolves all game long.
Aside from the media timeouts, each team has 2 remaining on the board right now.
And a small lineup out here, as we mentioned, for Stony Brook, looking to extend the pressure. This is a Vermont team that really handles the ball well.
Latimer is doing the chasing, got help from Olaniyi. But again, they clear midcourt. Almost thrown away, and then there's a foul. So we're going to shoot 1-and-1 right now. With 12:42 left, the foul was on Jules Moore. He picks up his 3rd. Missed there. And we'll come back the other end.
Good rebound by Moore. He'll go to the line. And again, as you mentioned, Carl, going to get a chance to take some points off the board with no clock going off.
Ryan Davis getting whistled for his 3rd personal. Ryan Davis will sit down, replaced by Raw Petty, number 15, 6'9", 220 sophomore, Indianapolis, Indiana.
And the officials have called it tight all night long.
And Garcia is knocking him down from the line. He's now 3 for 3 from the stripe in this game, shooting at basically 70%. And now he's got 4 for 4 and a baker's dozen, and it's a 14-point game.
Chip it away.
Here's Steph Smith. You know, John Becker before called the timeout, but it's Stony Brook that's reacted to the timeout.
Absolutely, and I like what about the pressure that Stony Brook has applied. It's taken a lot of time off the clock, so Vermont can't run their offense as efficiently.
5 to shoot. Dribble drive, penetration off the mark, didn't fall for Ernie Duncan, who's down on the ground and not getting up. Transition, Latimer 3, bang!
And Duncan is down on the other end, has not gotten up after that layup.
No, he's still down and he's on one knee and he is not back up yet. And now they're going to have to get some medical assistance, and now he finally does get up. And he seems to be okay. There's a timeout on the floor. A 9-0 run has brought Stony Brook back to within 11. Timeout on the floor. Back with more on ESPN3.
University celebrates the success of our athletic teams, and lacrosse was a clear example this year of what we can do as a team and what we can do as an institution of higher education. We talk about student success at UAlbany as one of our core priorities, and so it's about academics and it's about athletics, and we feel incredibly proud of our athletic teams.
Before you were someone with cancer, you were just you. That's why cancer treatment at Stony Brook is designed around treating you as an individual, with advanced treatments in a Long Island location where you can be surrounded by your friends, family, and the life you love.
Local 138 of the International Union of Operating Engineers is proud of its role in helping build the future of Stony Brook University and supporting the Stony Brook Seawolves. Integrity and the extraordinary work ethic of union men and women. That's why Local 138 is a valued part of the team that is creating the buildings that house academic excellence here at Stony Brook. Local 138 says, go Stony Brook, but build it union.
Duncan here goes to the basket, gets hit. You can see it right there. No call. Stony Brook out in transition. Great hustle play by McKenzie, and then Latimer knocks down the 3 to cut this lead to 11. There's the end of the 3.
Yeah, it looked like it was a combination of Garcia and Jules Moore when Duncan went down.
Here it is again right there. I think it was Garcia who got him. No call, and the hunt by McKenzie. The great look by Olani, and Latimer has ignited this Stony Brook crowd. 12 minutes left to go. Down 11. That's what we talked about, Carl. You wanted to get into the single digits by the time you said 10 minutes, and we are almost there.
12 minutes left, 11-point game.
And Ernie Duncan is on the bench.
We'll keep an eye on that. Everett Duncan kicks to the corner. Ben Shungu, number 24, handling the rock right now, watched by Jordan McKenzie. Everett Duncan spinning inside, lost the handle. No shot, no nothing. Jeff Bowles just tore and walked away from the officials. Oh, and he's walking all the way to the end of the bench. He's not even going to look back.
There might have been some contact there, but I thought there was a travel beforehand.
McKenzie gets whistled, his second. Duncan to the line, shooting 1 and 1. He's got 10 points, Everett Duncan, including 2 of 2 from the stripe. He'll get a second. He's got 11. Ernie Duncan, his brother's got 19. Everett's got 11. Steph Smith has 9. On the flip side, Andrew Garcia has 13. Miles Latimer, Akwazi Yeboah have 10, but Yeboah's on the bench with 4 personals. Jeff O'Cherry's on the bench with 3 personals. The freshman, Latimer got doubled. Garcia puts it on the floor. Lost the handle, out of bounds. Costly turnover, back to Vermont. Here's Jeff O'Cherry coming back on the floor. He'll be playing with 3 personals. I don't think that's going to take away from his aggressive play on the boards. You can't at this point, right? You've got to go after it.
You have to go after it. You've got plenty of bench support. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to play his game. Down 13, you have to get out there. You have to pressure. And with O'Cherry in the lineup, you can be even a little bit more aggressive in the traps because he's protecting the basket, and Vermont may have gotten away with a travel.
15 on the shot clock. Almost 9 minutes off the clock in the second half. Might have warded off with the left hand. Yes, sir. They caught that one right there. Steph Smith with that left arm to ward off to draw the advantage, picks up the personal foul. That's his second.
Good job by the officials on that one. Good defense by Stony Brook.
Ernie Duncan coming right back in.
Replacing his brother. Robin's going to take a minute off.
He replaces his brother, Robin.
And here's the ward off. Nice defense there by Latimer. The block by O'Cherry coming over as well, just to make sure.
The Duncans are like boxers. Throw them a punch. You might knock them down. They get right back up, come back in.
Tough, hard-nosed kids. As I mentioned, can you imagine what some of those backyard games were like?
Mom, Robin's down. Mom, Ernie's down.
And a strip down there by Ernie Duncan. Looked like it was a pretty good defensive play, but Garcia will go to the free throw line.
Personal foul number 2, Ernie Duncan. Garcia right back to the line. 4 for 4 in this one. Has 13 points. Came in averaging almost 10.
We speak about the Duncans, Carl. They have 3 other siblings. An older sister, Mary. We mentioned Stanley, his brother, who plays at Anderson University, and a younger brother, Brandon.
Big family. Bigger free throws right now. How clutch Garcia has been in the last 3 or 4 minutes. He's 5 for 5.
There you go. There you go again.
I'm not going to be invited to the Garcia family for any holiday dinners. Ben Shungu backing out, and Latimer's on him. Stop and pop. On the weak side with a good pull going high was Olaniyi.
And Stony Brook's doing a much better job on the glass.
Latimer's off the mark. The air ball falls to the hands of Everett Duncan as we've basically gone through half of this second half. 12-point game. Vermont on top. Stony Brook has crept back in on a 10-2 run.
A little too quick there by Latimer. Need to be a little bit more patient on the offensive end.
Oh, the look inside, the save on the baseline by Petty, but then stepped on the baseline. Substitution to Quasi Yeboah. Jerron Cornish back in for Stony Brook. Yeboah checks back in playing with the 4 personals. For Vermont, number 5, Samuel Dingba back on. And sitting down is Raw Petty, also back in. Robin Duncan, number 4. And he will take the place of Steph Smith, who sits down with 9 points.
Stony Brook got some great minutes out of Garcia as well as McKenzie.
You could see the fouls that both teams have committed so far. Yeboah right off the bench. Off the heel, long rebound to the hands of Olaniyi. Cornish with a step back 3. Look at the traffic on the rebound, but it's the yellow shirts, and Dingba comes up with it.
And Stony Brook settling a little bit too much for the perimeter 3. Like to see it go inside, have the double down, and then kick it back out.
They find Dingba from behind, though, and he got hit hard by Olaniyi, and now Dingba is down. Samuel Dingba, the redshirt senior. Let's see where he might have caught one.
Olaniyi rotates over here. Good job defensively. Just a hard foul. He might have caught the elbow. Nothing intentional there by Olaniyi, but I'm sure the referees are going to look at it, and that'll be Olaniyi's 3rd.
So number 3's got 3. Olaniyi has not scored in this game yet, and he came in averaging 11.5, and it looks like we're going to go to the monitor once again. And when you go to that end of the floor, you walk right towards Jeff Bowles, the head coach of Stony Brook. And we're going to take another look. That's Bill McCarthy. He's got the headset on. So we
this
will
has
look.
been a tough game to officiate, Carl.
Yeah,
Physical,
I mean, the
up
contact.
and down, a lot of action.
Well, there's a whole lot on the line. I mean, when you look at this, I know we're only games 6 and 7 into the America East Conference schedule, but you're basically hitting the halfway point. So every game is critical right now. Stony Brook at 5-0 in league play. Vermont is 5-1. The only loss was the other night at home to UMBC. In that game, they lost by 13, the Catamounts. Anthony Lamb was not on the floor. But tonight, again without Anthony Lamb, they're up by 12. Anthony Lamb going through concussion protocol. It sounds as if from what we heard that it might have happened in the Binghamton game a week ago. He woke up last Sunday with some headaches, and they said, we're shutting you down.
You know, we spoke earlier, you know, that every coach said, hey, it's only one game on the schedule, but we know both of these teams circle this game, and you can certainly see by the intensity that both teams are playing with how important this basketball game is.
2 of 3 from the line, 6 points for Dingba. Misses that one. So we're going to shoot 2 shots the rest of the way because both teams are strapped with 9 team fouls. 10 is the double bonus. Dingba's second of 2. Off the mark, tapped and pulled down by O'Cherry.
With a 3, Stony Brook could get into single digits, but they have to be patient. No need to rush.
9:05 on the clock. Dribble drive, here's Yeboah now to his left. On a step back, long 3. Contact underneath on the rebound. Is it on Cornish? Is it on Latimer? Or is it on O'Cherry?
Going to be on Jeff O'Cherry. That's going to be his 4th.
That's his 4th for number 4. So O'Cherry with 4. Yeboah with 4. Cornish with 3. Olaniyi with 3. And we'll shoot with Dingba going right back to the line where he just missed 2 a moment ago.
And
Dingba's got 11 rebounds in this game.
And another tough shot there by Yeboah. Tough step back 3.
Dingba came in averaging 3 rebounds a game. He's basically got quadruple that number. Misses again from the line. He's missed 3 in a row after making his first 2. He's now 2 for 6 from the line. O'Cherry sits down.
Garcia back in the lineup, provided an offensive spark for Stony Brook. They need another score on the floor right now.
He makes 1 after missing his last 4 from the line. Dingba's got 7. Dingba sits down, 7 points, 11 rebounds, 13-point game, just under 9 minutes remaining. Stony Brook with the ball. Well, Cornish says, you're going to leave me alone. I'm going to take it, but he missed it. That was so nonchalant and wide open.
And Stony Brook really struggling from the perimeter right now.
You still run your stuff here? Or do you maybe run a little bit extra to take some time off the clock? What do you want to do?
Look there inside. I'd like to see Stony Brook on the offensive end try and post up either Garcia or Yeboah, have the double down, and maybe you get Latimer to step in for a 3. But just settling for too many quick 3-pointers.
Those are the numbers you don't want.
No, that's absolutely not. You have 3 important starters with deep foul trouble. A lot of time left to go.
Tripped
Latimer
up.
picks up another one.
We're going to shoot free throws again. That's the first on Miles Latimer. And again, 2 free throws, no matter who goes to the line for either team for the remaining 8:25. This time we'll shoot them with Ernie Duncan, game high 19, had 15 at the break. He is 3 for 4 from the line tonight. Now 20. Looking for number 21. Two of 2, 21.
And this is a pretty good Vermont shooting team. At least the ball handlers are going to knock down the foul shots. So Stony Brook needs to be careful defensively. Tough move inside by Olani. He's still struggling to score.
Has not scored in this game yet. Elijah Olani, the sophomore out of Newark, New Jersey. Cornish belly up on Robin Duncan. Looks for the steal. Turn in the corner, the bounce pass, try to reverse, and then come back off the left side. It didn't roll down there, and it was missed by Raw Petty. And that's off of Stony Brook. The turnover gives the ball back to Vermont. 7:47 left in this second half. Vermont by 15 over Stony Brook on ESPN3.
My dentist recommended a specialist. She recommended North Shore implant and oral surgery.
The staff made me feel very comfortable. They were friendly, very professional.
I had 2 teeth that cracked. I was very nervous, but once I met the team, they made me feel very comfortable and at ease. And now I can smile, sparkle, and shine.
Trust your care to the specialists here at North Shore Implant and Oral Surgery Associates.
North Shore Implant and Oral Surgery. Call or visit nsimplant.com.
Looking for a new vehicle? We've got it at Cantillo Auto Group. Nissan, Chevy, Hyundai, with over 4,000 vehicles in stock, both new and pre-owned. Cantillo Auto Group is a proud official sponsor of Stony Brook Athletics. And right now, all Stony Brook students, faculty, and alumni can take advantage of special employee factory pricing. Talk about a win. Cantillo Auto Group, family owned and operated for over 40 years. Visit one of our 3 convenient locations and go Seawolves.
Back here at Stony Brook, 7:47 left in the second half, and Vermont on top, 56-41. Let's revisit the standings. All these records are up to date through play today. The only teams that we haven't changed, Stony Brook and Vermont right now. But things go the way that they're going. Vermont's going to go to 6-1. They'll catapult Stony Brook, who'll be 5-1, be a half game behind them.
Head-to-head right there. Stony Brook obviously still has to go up to Vermont to play.
Well, when you break it down, after today, Stony Brook back on the road Wednesday night against UMBC. That will be a big-time game. Vermont will be off until next Saturday when they go to UMass Lowell. And Pat Duquette has that UMass Lowell team playing very well after 2 straight losses to start play. They've won 4 in a row now in the America East.
And they can score some points.
Oh, they can.
The Riverhawks.
They give up some points, but they can score some points.
Well, if you score a lot, usually you give
that's
up
true.
a lot. But that'll be good for Vermont to have that break off to see if he can get Anthony Lamb back.
Yeah, because then he has another full week off. And you can get him back in first place, and he missed 2 games, and you went 1-1. That's a good job.
Very good job. And, Vermont, the preseason favorite coming in the coaches' poll. Very dangerous offensive team.
That would have counted had it dropped, but then the white shirts just let Ben Shungu float in there and pick up a loose ball on the floor for a fresh 30.
And another opportunity for some second chance points, which has killed Stony Brook all night by Vermont.
14-5 second chance points for Vermont over Stony Brook. Now you're in critical time with 6:45, stuck 15.
They had it at 11, and just Stony Brook has gone ice cold.
Yeah, they're not shooting tonight at all, having struggled from the field. At the last media timeout, Stony Brook was shooting 14 of 46. Not that Vermont's lighting it up at 19 for 46, but still.
Both teams have 6 3-pointers, but Vermont has made 12 free throws, 12 out of 20. They've hurt Stony Brook from the line. And Stony Brook a little bit too much one-on-one right now.
And the Seawolves haven't scored in the last 4 minutes. 5 to shoot. Yeboah wants to get inside. Climbs over the top, and that's going to be number 5 on Akwasi Yeboah. He is just fouled out of the ball game with the 10 points. So the redshirt junior, Yeboah, the leading scorer at 18 tonight, fouls out. He was never in sync in this contest.
No, the foul trouble has hurt him all game long, and 2 over-the-back fouls. One was an elbow, that inadvertent elbow. So he's had a tough night. Not his fault, just some tough luck. And Jeff O'Cherry will check in for him, who's got 4 himself.
And to the line is Everett Duncan, who has 12 points. He's 4 for 4 from the line. He's knocked down 2 trifectas on the season. Everett Duncan averaging 6 points a game, so he's doubled his scoring average. And I think we just got a technical foul called. We just got a technical foul that's been called on Jeff Bowles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shoot the 2 technicals, then we'll shoot the free throws. Now who's going to shoot? Going to the line is going to be Ernie Duncan. Preceding the free throws, that Everett Duncan is going to get.
You got that all straight?
Yeah, I got that straight. 5 of 6 from the line, 21 points, game high right now for Ernie Duncan. He's 22. Redshirt senior. 23 points. Season high is 28.
Certainly has put on a tremendous performance, has Ernie Duncan. And now his brother Everett will go to the free throw line to extend this lead.
The 28 came at Towson on November the 30th. Career high 3 years ago, 33 against Hofstra, as Everett Duncan misses the first free throw. Looking for number 13, and he's got that one. 1 of 2 there. 18-point lead. It was a 10-point game. Vermont on top at halftime, 35-25. Coming down to 6 minutes remaining. Strong dribble drive, knocked out of bounds with 18 seconds on the shot clock.
Vermont's been very solid defensively, Carl. They do a nice job doubling down when they need to. They rotate very well defensively and play some real good on-ball defense, and done a nice job against the pick and rolls as well.
Tough angle and knocking it down. Elijah Olaniyi with his first 2 points of the night, but a great move on the right baseline.
Tough move along the baseline against both Duncan brothers.
Now they spread the floor, Vermont. Again, this is a Vermont team 4-0 after a loss this year. They know how to respond, and that's a response right there. 15 now for Everett Duncan.
Duncan to Duncan.
Left open is Cornish. Drills his first 3 points of the ball game. They got to belly it up here now.
Can't trade buckets, though. They got to get stops.
Little high-low, and O'Cherry climbing over the top. Got Raw Petty, and that will be a second foul out. Akwasi Yeboah a few minutes ago fouled out, and now Jeff O'Cherry will have to take a seat on the bench.
That's a good foul by O'Cherry. Raw Petty, not a good free throw shooter, under 50%.
Well, on the season, as you mentioned, he's 10 of 21. His first opportunity from the line, has not scored in this game, Raw Petty, who plays 9 minutes a night. He started 6 games this season. Again, they're trying to get him acclimated. He has to figure it out, but because of his athleticism, his energy, he knows how to defend. He gets 9, 10, 11 minutes a night.
And the first name is just so apropos. Pronounced Raw, he's still raw, but so much athleticism, so much potential.
Makes his free throw, his first point of the night, with 5:01 on the clock. To say that we've had a few free throws shot in this game would be the old understatement. Blocking foul has been called. And getting up off the deck was Ernie Duncan, his third personal. And we'll go to the line with Elijah Olanihi, 75% free throw shooter, first trip to the line. A little wet spot there, and they'll clean that up.
Duncan trying to rotate over to take the charge. Good call by the officials. Still moving. Olani at the line. Under 5, Carl, down 16. This is such a tough Vermont team to come back on because they share the ball so well. They handle the ball. 5 guards on the floor, 4 guards on the floor now with Raw Petty out there. But they do a great job taking care of the basketball.
Two of 2, nothing but net. Olani, he's got 4 points, and Stony Brook's got to go press and press hard and get a stop down 14, under 5 left. Run a little half-court set here. Saw the opening, backed it out, flipped it up with the left hand, did not fall for Robin Duncan, and here's Andrew Garcia. This is Jerron Cornish, poked from behind, knocked out of bounds, last touched by Stony Brook. Now they're going to just do anything possible to defend and press coming out of the backcourt. Got 10 seconds to bring it over. Able to do so, Robin Duncan.
He's done a nice job handling the basketball, bringing it up. Good size. Good use of both hands.
12 seconds to shoot. Ernie Duncan in control. Dribble drive on a stop. Kick out Steph Smith. Blocked beautifully by Cornish. Saves to Olaniyi. We're at the 4-minute mark. Olaniyi straight through to the corner. Whip it around. Then we've got a whistle down low. It will be a blocking foul, and we will stop the clock with exactly 4 minutes.
Another good call by the officials. That time Duncan had position, but he was inside. Look at the great block here by Cornish, elevating up. The save by Cornish. And then in transition, you'll see Olani taking it to the basket. And he had 2 feet on that restraining circle. That's why it was a block.
Timeout on the floor. We're back right after this on ESPN3.
Respect is hard work. Respect is dedication.
Respect is earned on the court or on the field. Respect doesn't judge based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Respect is being the first conference to partner with the You Can Play project.
And the first conference in the LGBT Sports Safe Founders Club.
Respect the coaches, the players, and the game.
Respect similarities.
Respect differences.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
My dentist recommended a specialist. She recommended North Shore Implant and Oral Surgery.
The staff made me feel very comfortable. They were friendly, very professional.
I had 2 teeth that cracked. I was very nervous, but once I met the team, they made me feel very comfortable and at ease. And now I can smile, sparkle, and shine.
Trust your care to the specialists here at North Shore Implant and Oral Surgery Associates.
North Shore Implant and Oral Surgery. Call or visit nsimplant.com.
It's more than heating.
More than plumbing or servicing your furnace.
Petro is a promise.
A promise to come when you call.
24/7, no matter the weather or emergency.
To deliver oil and propane on time.
A promise to fix it right with highly trained technicians.
And to do whatever it takes to keep your heating system up and running.
That's what makes Petro #1. It's our people and our promise. The Petro promise.
Save on oil and propane today. Call Petro Home Service.
4 minutes remaining in this game, and Vermont in control, and that's part of the problem. Jerry got saddled early in this game. Yaboa got saddled early in the second half, and now they've both fouled out.
And Yaboa has never been in rhythm all game long. I mean, if Stony Brook needs to win these big basketball games, you got to get a great performance out of your star offensive player. Yeboah had never really got on track. And defensively, Stony Brook out of sync without their anchor, Ocheri, in there as well.
So with 4 minutes remaining, going to shoot some free throws here. Olanihi now 3 for 3 from the line. He's got 5 points. Samuel Dingba comes in, and Raw Petty sits down for Vermont. Six now, 4 of 4 from the line, has a field goal as well, 6 points, 12-point game. It's not out yet.
Oh, no, there's 4 minutes left to go. Plenty of time. Stony Brook's got to defend. They got to get some good shots on the offensive end as well.
Boy, there's some bumping right there, and they're letting that one go. Here's Dingba. Big step there with Everett Duncan. Robin Duncan saves. 12 to shoot. Poked away. Good defense there, Jerron Cornish. 7-1 run by Stony Brook to get back to within 12. 9 seconds.
Here, you got to get a stop, and you got to secure the rebound as well. Can't let Vermont get another rebound and a fresh shot clock.
5 to shoot. Ernie Duncan on a layoff to his brother, Everett Duncan, who's got 17.
Tremendous drive by Ernie Duncan and the find. Olani misses the 3, and a rebound is secured by Everett Duncan.
Now the numbers are against you if you're Stony Brook. And now running away and being chased by Latimer is Robin Duncan. There's 12 to shoot, 3 minutes left in the game. Corner 3. Everett Duncan, his 3rd triple, and he has 20. His brother Ernie has 23.
Robin Duncan has done such a tremendous job at the point. Great size, great vision, controlling the tempo of the game, and a beautiful look there, Robin to Everett.
So, the way it looks right now, with Jules Moore going to the line, looking for his first points of the game, the 6'5 freshman from Houston, Texas. You mentioned, Vermont has won 21 straight America East road games, which is a conference record. It looks like 21 is going to turn to 22.
Yeah, no question about it. Up 15, 2:43 left to go. Tremendous performance by Vermont. They've looked very good on both ends of the floor. Mentioned coming in without their star player, without their leading scorer, Anthony Lamb. Big performances out of the three Duncan boys.
No look to the wing, and Dingba backed it out because you want to use clock now. And as soon as you say that, Everett Duncan was in a little bit too deep. Well, that might have been 2 more points. Here's Olani. He lost the handle. Now it's a little sloppy game, and then could not save. Matt Palem tried to do the splits on the far side. There's John Becker in his 8th year. 2 minutes and 16 seconds away from winning his 182nd game at Vermont, which would put him 100 games over 500 now in his 8th year.
That's a tremendous record. You rattled off the seasons that he has had. I mean, go through it again, Carl.
His lowest, all right, let's start from his first year. 3-time America East Coach of the Year. First year went to the NCAAs, 24-12. 21-12 the second year, went to the CBI. 22-11 in his 3rd year, NIT. The next 2 years, CBI with 20-14, 23-14. Then the NCAAs with a 29-6 record. Last year looks like they were going to be ticketed to the tournament for back-to-back years. They went to the NIT 27-8 record. That's only because UMBC able to win at Vermont, holding the Catamounts scoreless for the final 8 minutes on Vermont's home floor.
It's a tremendous performance. And the last 3 years, as you mentioned, they are 37-3. 37-2 in league play.
Two minutes and 16 seconds remaining. and they've been chasing basically the whole game. Early on, they had a lead, Stony Brook, and then all of a sudden, Vermont had that furious run at the end of the half. All right, Matt Palin just came over to us, and he really didn't have a look when he fell out of bounds. So that's why they were looking at it. The last Stony Brook lead was 22 to 21. So if you do the math, it's a 46 to 30 run by Vermont.
Well, it's been led by your law firm that's going to represent
Duncan
you.
Duncan?
The Duncan.
Found the opening on the pass. Now they're going to really milk the clock. There's 15 to shoot. 2 minutes remaining in the contest. 10 to shoot. Ernie Duncan. Steph Smith with 5 to shoot on a runner. Off the mark, tapped around, pulled down by Cornish with 1:45 left. Latimer hauls it in. Going to take it and stop and pop. Dingba fighting for the rebound. Got hit from behind, or is it knocked out of bounds? Olaniyi knocked it out of bounds.
And Dingba's been an integral part of this. We talk about the Duncans. What he has done defensively and on the glass has been a big key to the victory for the Catamounts, as they look like they're going to hold on with 1:38 left to go, up 15.
Going to go to the line with Ernie Duncan. Game high 23, season high 28, end of November against Towson. Oh, there's 24 points, and he's piling them up from the free throw line. He's 8 of 9 from the line with 24. He's got a couple of three-pointers as well. Now 25. His brother Everett's got 20. They have 45 of the 69 points. Tough dribble drive. And then the pass was picked off by Everett Duncan. I'm going to drive home singing Duncan, Duncan, and Duncan.
I'll see it with the reach in. Steph Smith will go to the line again.
Second foul on Garcia. Steph Smith has not gone to the line in this game, but on the season, excellent free throw shooter, 77%. He's had opportunities, 46 of 58. He's got 9 points in this game.
A slasher, can really get to the basket. He's got a nice shooting stroke, explosive player. Another weapon in the arsenal for John Becker.
All-time scorer at Bill Crothers Secondary High School in Ontario, where he was the valedictorian of his graduating class. He's got 11, 19-point lead, 1:10 left. Stolen away to the basket, and that'll be a goaltend. Give the 2 points to Steph Smith, who now has 13 points. And sitting it down is Ernie Duncan with a game-high 25 points.
And he gets some high fives from his teammates, well-deserved.
Sam Dingba, boy, he sits down. He had 7 points, and last count we had him for 11 rebounds. And now we'll just run out the final 50 seconds. So a disappointed crowd here on the Island Federal Arena on a Saturday night, anticipating trying to get a 2-game bulge in the America East. But Vermont comes to town and says, not tonight.
And again, Stony Brook, playing handcuffed all night long with the foul trouble early on to Cornish, obviously Yaboa and O'Cherry.
Olaniyi was stripped and lost it off of his knee with 21.7. And now we'll just run out the clock, and Bailey Patella will come in, number 12. Patella is a sophomore from Lenox, Massachusetts. He'll get in the final 20-plus seconds. Isaiah Maul is back in. He had minutes in that first half. And holding on will be Steph Smith to run out the clock in what will be an impressive win by Vermont on the road, who's now 5-0 after losses. Final score, Vermont wins it 73-52 over Stony Brook. And Vermont now 6-1 in league play, and Stony Brook is 5-1 in league play.
Certainly a convincing and impressive performance by the Catamounts, Carl, on both ends of the floor. Extremely efficient offensively, defensively, did a really nice job shutting down many of the options for